Alrighty, thank you guys for joining us today. I hope you guys checked out the announcements channel. There's 6 more days. November 17th is when Saucerswap V2 launches. It's been 2 weeks since our last AMA and a lot has happened. We've released our Saucerswap V2 testnet beta and concluded the bug bounty successfully. November 17th is the day. We've also released written Saucerswap V1 and V2 tutorials in our docs, so please be sure to check those out. So for today's AMA, we have ABFT FTW co-hosting.
Thank you, Pineapple. Happy November, everyone. I hope you guys didn't overdose on candy this Halloween because this AMA is so freaking sweet, it might give you a cavity. Let's dig in. What's on your mind, Peter?
Hey everyone, welcome to this AMA. We're really excited to jump in to answer some questions from y'all this week. And in addition, I think this is top of mind for everyone. We have just announced the official launch date for Saucerswap version 2. So check out our Twitter/X account at Saucerswap Labs. We just tweeted just posted the announcement. And then also in the announcements channel of this Discord to see the official announcement. And please signal boost this so we can get some more eyes on Hedera and Hedera DeFi. So Saucerswap version 2 will launch in less than 1 week. It's coming right up on Friday of this week, November 17th at 9:30 p.m. UTC. So for those of you in the States, that's 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time and 1:30 p.m. Pacific Time. We couldn't be more excited for the official launch of concentrated liquidity on Hedera, and I just wanted to take a few minutes to note a few things. So, number one, Saucerswap version 2 will launch with MetaMask support on day 1. That means you can connect your MetaMask to Saucerswap, and to the mainnet RPC details will automatically be populated to connect to the Hedera network. So if you have friends who haven't jumped into Hedera yet and maybe creating a new wallet is a friction point for them, you can let them know that MetaMask can be used on Friday at 9:30 p.m. UTC with the launch of Saucerswap version 2. Second note is that Lari, which is the Liquidity Aligned Reward Initiative, will be available at launch as well on day 1. Lari is essentially yield farming, but for Saucerswap version 2, and it's a bit novel that you don't actually have to stake your liquidity token in a smart contract. It can stay right in your wallet without any staking, and you get token incentives. And the way this is structured is there will be 2-week periods called epochs, and the first epoch will have disproportionately higher token incentives than the following epochs. These token incentives will be sent via an airdrop at the end of every epoch, every 2-week period. So to mention again, the incentives will be the highest in the first 2-week period. And this is a way to help the transition for some LPs to join Saucerswap version 2 pools. So Lari is specific to Saucerswap version 2. If you would like some more information on how Lari works, we did publish a in-depth blog post on the Saucerswap Medium page. So check that out for more information. We will also post more information regarding Lari this week before the launch on Friday. Note number 3, the tokenomics V2 change will go into effect right at launch. The exact details for this can be also found on the Saucerswap Medium page. There was a blog post that goes into the tokenomics V2 proposal that was accepted. Main point here is that the inflation rate of newly minted sauce will decrease incrementally over a period of 6 weeks to facilitate a seamless transition from Saucerswap version 1 to a combination of Saucerswap version 1 and V2 running in tandem. So that will happen over a period of 6 weeks. One more note, actually I have 2 more notes. Second to last note is that not every pool is suitable for version 2. At launch, there will be a number of V2 pools for pairs that are appropriate for concentrated liquidity. And every one of those V2 pools will have Lari rewards available. So there will be token incentives for liquidity providers in every V2 pool. There is no obligation or expectation to migrate liquidity from version 1 to version 2. And the fact that farm incentives will continue with version 1 and Lari token incentives will work in conjunction with version 2, there will be a natural rebalancing of liquidity between version 1 and version 2. So just keep an eye out on Friday. And if you want to migrate from version 1 to version 2, it'd be pretty easy to do so. And if you want to stay in version 1, that's also an option. Lastly, this is the last note. All farming is now done or will be done starting on Friday via the liquidity page with the new web app. On Friday at 9:30 p.m. UTC, when Saucerswap version 2 goes live, there will be no more farm page. So you will stake and unstake liquidity on the liquidity page. And you can find all of the token incentive pools by clicking on a button called Rewards Available right on the pools table on the liquidity page. It'll be super easy and make the LP flows much more streamlined. But this is something to note, especially if you did not participate in the testnet public beta for version 2. You might be wondering where the farm tab is. That being said, there will be a legacy farm UI left up for a period of time if users have any trouble staking or unstaking LP tokens, and you'll be able to find that right in the navigation bar. If you click on the 3 dots, it'll say legacy farm UI. So if you prefer to stake or unstake, that'll still be left up for a little bit. So those are the main notes for the official Saucerswap version 2 launch. It's coming right up this Friday, so get ready for concentrated liquidity. Brush up on how the Lari token incentives work. It's pretty cool. We released a blog post on the Saucerswap Medium page. And check out the tutorials on the Saucerswap Labs YouTube channel to prepare for the launch. We made some videos for navigating a depth chart, creating a liquidity position in a V2 pool, so check those out. We couldn't be more excited. Hope you guys are excited as well. And if you are, please consider signal boosting the launch on social media, from X to Reddit to YouTube, TikTok, and elsewhere, so that we can get the word out about Hedera DeFi and Saucerswap version 2.
Thank you so much for that, Peter. Lots of information. So to start off this Q&A, the first one is for Joseph. Why is slippage lower with the concentrated liquidity?
Hey guys, great to be here. Yeah, so as a quick refresher, slippage is the difference between the expected price of a trade and the executed price. And it arises from a changing pool ratio as your trade is submitted to the network. Whereas price impact is simply the difference in market price caused directly by your trade. So concentrated liquidity in Saucerswap V2 leads to both lower slippage and lower price impact compared to Saucerswap V1. And this is due to higher capital efficiency. So in Saucerswap V2, liquidity providers can allocate their capital within specified price ranges rather than across the entire price range as in V1. And this concentration of liquidity around the current market price increases the market depth for that price range. So when a trade is executed within this price range, there's a greater pool of assets available to facilitate the trade. And this increased liquidity at the specified price points means that large trades have less impact on the market price. And in other words, they move the ratio of the pool by a lesser degree. And this results in lower price impact on their trade and thus less slippage for other traders. So in simpler terms, Saucerswap version 2 allows liquidity providers to say, I believe the price of this asset will stay within this range. And by doing so, they concentrate their capital where it's most likely to be used, rather than spreading it thinly across a wide range of prices where it may not be needed. And this results in more efficient trading and better prices for users, reducing slippage and price impact commonly seen in less efficient markets like Saucerswap V1.
Yeah, thanks for that, Joseph. But man, I got a question. Did y'all hear Laurie or Yanni? I mean, I heard both, but please comment in the Discord because I heard both. It was very confusing. Next question. Can we expect V2 partnerships like active liquidity management protocols? Peter?
Yeah, so at launch, Saucerswap will not be integrated with any active liquidity management protocols. With that being said, ALM protocols can make concentrated liquidity more powerful and user-friendly. And we have been in productive discussions with ALM protocols to explore integrations following the official Saucerswap version 2 launch. And this could materialize in a number of ways. Number one, it could be auto rebalancing, facilitate auto rebalancing for liquidity positions. It could compound fees back into positions to maximize APR, and other optimizations and quality of life improvements for liquidity providers. So the general answer is V2 will not be a product that is delivered and then left alone. There are many opportunities to build optimizations on top of V2 and after V2, um, namely ALM protocols, like the question asked. And these will likely happen over a span of time in an iterative process.
Awesome. Looking forward to that. This next one is also for you, Peter. What is the marketing roadmap?
Yeah, so the marketing angle will shift following the launch of V2, given that MetaMask will be supported on day one. This makes onboarding users from other networks much easier, and it affords more opportunities to create videos and spread the word about Saucerswap with an easy call to action for these users, which is simply to connect their MetaMask, either send some HBAR to it from a centralized exchange or use the faucet in the Saucerswap Discord. Currently, Hashport remains a dual wallet bridge, meaning that you need to connect not only a wallet like MetaMask, but also a Hedera native wallet such as Hashpack. So part of further reducing user onboarding friction is to resolve this dual wallet setup and allow users to bridge assets with just one wallet. This need has been communicated to Hashport, though we are unsure of the integration timeline. We did stress that it's a pretty big pain point right now for onboarding. But MetaMask being supported on Saucerswap does allow us some more marketing opportunities. Another new marketing angle afforded by Saucerswap version 2 is the ability for Saucerswap version 2 to compete with centralized exchanges for the best HBAR rates. So, namely, exchanges that users would normally go to, tier one centralized exchanges. Saucerswap version 2 will have competitive fee tiers with these centralized exchanges, and the liquidity being concentrated will optimize the capital efficiency. So quotes for HBAR can compete with centralized exchanges on Saucerswap version 2. And combine that with the fact that Saucerswap is non-custodial, meaning users never custody their assets to a separate account, and all transactions are on-chain, verifiable, and inherit fair order flow. The Saucerswap version 2 value proposition becomes quite a bit stronger, and we do plan to exploit this in our marketing. It is also worth mentioning that coinciding around the launch of version 2, we will start to see RWAs, which are real world assets, on Saucerswap. And this shifts the narrative around Hedera DeFi in a pretty meaningful way. Along with improved capital efficiency that comes with concentrated liquidity, introducing new asset classes in the form of RWAs on the most performant and regulatory conscious network in Web3, that being Hedera, informs a pretty strong position for Saucerswap as a leading protocol in DeFi. Just this week, we have seen Saucerswap climb to the rank of the top 33rd DEX across all networks measured by TVL. So while I'm not making any prediction about the future successes of Saucerswap, I do think that the future of Hedera DeFi in general looks promising. Finally, if market conditions continue to improve, there will be an opportunity to pursue other marketing endeavors, including additional centralized exchange listings, attending conferences and networking events. We had a great time at Permissionless back in September with Hedera. So more networking means more eyes on Hedera and Hedera DeFi and Saucerswap. And also there will be opportunities for more collaborations with content creators, getting the word out about some of the value propositions that I mentioned surrounding Saucerswap version 2.
Yeah, man, looking forward to selling my house on Saucerswap. I'm stoked about that. So next question for Joseph. What are the team's thoughts on the drop in HBAR staking rewards? Is this good for Hedera DeFi or nah?
Yeah, good question. So the native staking reward rate has been dropping since the decision to change the staking algorithm was approved by the Hedera Governing Council in August of this year. And to date, it has fallen from 6.5% down to 1.26%, and it's capped at 2.5%. So obviously, whether this is good or bad will vary depending on who you ask. Speaking in terms of the DeFi ecosystem, it has created a strong tailwind whereby more users become willing to interact with protocols like Saucerswap in search of higher yields. So in this regard, the native staking yield is effectively the risk-free rate of the Hedera network. Why deposit in protocols carrying added smart contract risk when you can get a totally reliable source of yield that's higher? So I think this is the reason why we have observed a significant inflow of liquidity, specifically HBAR, to Saucerswap following the rate cut in August. The wrapped HBAR contract balance, for example, has increased from 150 million to nearly 210 million in this time. So it's my opinion that the ecosystem is much stronger as a result. Having more HBAR in native protocols makes these public utilities far more efficient for new and existing users.
Thanks for that, Joseph. Have you considered any specific plans for adding bridging features to SauceSwap in the near future?
Yeah, sorry. So we actually built a user interface for a front-end bridge integration in the Saucerswap web app several months ago. However, it was put on the back burner following delays with the Hedera RPC. So it is still on the roadmap, and we will revisit it once either Hashport has integrated MetaMask on the Hedera side, as Peter had mentioned earlier, and or more bridging infrastructure is established on the network.
So, Joe, does Saucerswap app charge an interface fee like Uniswap?
So there is no fees beyond the network fee paid to Hedera nodes and the swap fee charged by the Saucerswap protocol. And just in terms of the swap fee, 5.6 goes to liquidity providers and 1.6 goes to the protocol, which then channels it towards Sauce token buybacks in the Infinity pool and the DAO. So there is also a 25-cent deposit fee for staking LP tokens in the yield farm and a $50 fee for creating new liquidity pools. And both of these are security measures put in place to prevent bad actors from spamming contracts to increase their size beyond the 10 megabyte limit. And note that in the unlikely event this were to occur, Hedera can easily increase the limit since it's currently set at a fairly arbitrary value. But returning to the original question, Saucerswap Labs, unlike Uniswap Labs, does not charge an additional interface fee for token swapping, liquidity provision, and single-sided staking in the Saucerswap.finance web app.
Great to know, Joseph. This next question is for Peter. Will Saucerswap V2 be on CoinMarketCap and other platforms?
Yes, it will. Around the time of launch or shortly thereafter, Saucerswap version 2 will be integrated into data aggregators, as was done with Saucerswap version 1. Although it should be much quicker due to 2 points. The endpoints already being prepared, and us having an existing relationship with these partners. And to be clear, these are integrations as an exchange. Of course, the sauce token remains the same from version 1 to version 2. So we're talking about exchange integrations with these aggregators.
Good to know. All right, back to Joseph. So can we get a refresh on the new tokenomics? So a related question with that is, will any of the total circulating supply be burned?
Yeah, certainly. So to recap, the rate of newly minted sauce tokens will be reduced by 60%, and this will happen over a span of 6 weeks following the launch of Saucerswap V2. This means it will take 6 years instead of 3 years, beginning from August of 2022, for all 1 billion sauce tokens to enter circulation. And this is made possible by heightened capital efficiency of the concentrated liquidity market maker, which will enable higher volume in the protocol and thus generate more fees for LPs. So LPs will be less reliant on inflation-driven yields. And the reduction in sauce tokens rate of inflation, as well as its reallocation in the updated tokenomics model, is as follows. So currently, the total mint rate is 317 sauce per minute. Of this, 288 sauce is emitted to yield farmers, 28.8 is emitted to DevCut, and 0 is currently emitted to the DAO and Lari. In the first 3 weeks following the launch of Saucerswap version 2, there will be a 20% reduction in inflation. In the following 3 weeks, the net reduction in inflation will be 40% from the current level. And 6 weeks and onward, the net reduction in inflation will be 60%, and with the following breakdown. So a total mint rate of 126.8 sauce per minute. Of this, around 60 sauce per minute is emitted to yield farmers, 11.5 is emitted to DevCut, and 55.5 is emitted to the DAO and Lari. So for the first 4 epochs of V2, which translates to 8 weeks, 100% of the sauce that's currently allocated to the DAO and Lari will go towards the liquidity aligned reward initiative. And this is to bootstrap V2 pools via boosted rewards. And following this, the allocation will be split 50-50 between the DAO and Lari. So this updated tokenomics model is much more sustainable, ensuring the longevity of the Saucerswap protocol as Hedera continues to gain adoption. And this is all well documented in our Gitbook docs. So if you want to read more, you can check out the tokenomics section.
Thanks for explaining that, Joseph. This next one is for Peter, and we have seen some of these questions in our general Discord. Will there be a new sauce token with the Saucerswap V2?
There will not be a new sauce token with version 2. So just to clear it up, there's no new sauce token. It's the same token. It's new tokenomics. It's revised tokenomics, I should say. So the only change in tokenomics is what Joseph just mentioned. Again, there's no new token. And just kind of the TLDR of what Joseph mentioned, the mint rate goes from 317 sauce per minute to around 127 sauce per minute. So if someone wanted a TLDR after the more detailed explanation, that's kind of the high level overview, is 317 to about 127 after 6 weeks.
I appreciate the TLDR, sir. Next question is, are you aiming to make sauce available on centralized exchanges subject to market conditions? And if so, does the team know how long the process to list takes?
Yeah, so this was addressed in our last AMA, but the TLDR is that we were advised by our market maker to wait until broader market conditions improved before committing funds to a secondary exchange listing. So for the time being, the Sauce USDT pair on MEXC is doing pretty good in terms of volume. I believe it's generating consistently over 500K on days of heightened market activity. And as Peter mentioned earlier, there will be an opportunity to revisit secondary listings, specifically on larger centralized exchanges following the launch of Saucerswap V2.
Great, thanks for that, Joseph. So this next one is more of a fun question, and it's from Robin of .hbar. When will Larry meet Sally?
I'm gonna jump in and field this one. And Robo MFH Bar. I'm not so sure, but I'll have what she's having.
And I think this question is kind of based off on a movie, right? So I don't think I've seen that movie, so I'm not sure either.
Ah, geez, come on, Pineapple. Like, how old are you? Like 40? You should know this.
No, I'm not 40, by the way. I'm younger than that.
All right. Next question comes from Box Monkey. Congratulations, Team Saucerswap, on the launch of V2. Thanks for all. Well, it's not a question. Thanks for all your hard work. You've made something very special for the Hedera community, and I will respond to this one as well. No, Box Monkey and everyone else, thank you. We would be nothing without this community, so we appreciate being a part of all that we've been trying to create in this bear market. You guys mean the universe to us. And with that, I don't know about you, but I'm all pretty stoked about V2 launching, and we sure hope you are too. That's all I've got, but stay tuned for some last words from Pineapple.
Thanks, ABFTFW. So, before we end the AMA tonight, the team would like to show their appreciation to some of our community members who have promoted, enriched, and or contributed to the Saucerswap community. So today we'll be awarding a Dog Star and two Bark Star awards. And two Bark awards tonight. So the Dog Star award in the prize of 10,000 Sauce tokens goes to IPConfig for integrating Sauce as payment method in the tip bot. Bot Hashgate, and I think currently this is being used in Club HBAR. Our first Bark Star of tonight goes to Blackjack1 BL4CK J4CK1 for raising Saucerswap visibility on Reddit. Thank you for posting about us and helping promote the Saucerswap brand. And our second Bark Star goes to HBAR1000 for increasing Twitter activity and drawing hype about Saucerswap. So thank you guys. Thank you for your efforts in helping the Saucerswap community. And just to reiterate what ABFTFTW said, Saucerswap wouldn't be we are right now without all of your support. So thank you so much for all of your hard work and helping promote us and helping spread DeFi in Hedera. And thanks for joining us today. And we look forward to a successful Saucerswap V2 launch sometime in the next 6 days. So November 17th, mark your calendars, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Yep. So Friday is Saucerswap version 2 launch, 9:30 p.m. UTC. So we'll see you then, and there will be more announcements. So keep or stay tuned on the announcements channel and the Twitter. We'll have a lot more to say this week leading up to the launch. So thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks, guys.